What makes us truly free? Open every door. Have you ever felt free, yet trapped? Your passport in hand, your résumé pristine. But deep inside, you crave emotional freedom, digital wellness, and self-leadership you can't download. In a world of mental health apps and empowerment mantras, why does your soul still whisper for true resilience, authenticity, and self-awareness? Today, we shatter hidden prisons, legal, psychological, and spiritual, and ignite the power of emotional intelligence, inner courage, and radical autonomy. Today, we shatter hidden prisons, legal, psychological, and spiritual, and ignite the power of emotional intelligence, inner courage, and radical autonomy, the silent cages. We wear freedom like a badge, yet still sit behind invisible bars. Some cages boast high walls of language, borders, trauma, or someone else's blueprint for success. You might live in a palace or a skyscraper and still feel nowhere at home. Emile Durkheim taught us that without social bonds, even the brightest mind can feel alone. Viktor Frankl showed that purpose, not circumstance, grants true liberty. Quote overlay. Between stimulus and response lies freedom. Viktor Frankl. When you see or hear something that will lead you to certain behaviour, if you do not behave as expected, that is the freedom. Break the chain of the stimuli. The heart's revolution. Real freedom blooms inside, emotional, psychological, spiritual. It's the courage to stand in your truth, even if your accent trembles. It's the audacity to rest, without guilt, and to love, without shame. Daniel Goleman reminds us that emotional intelligence unlocks resilience. Paulo Freire urges us to name our reality before we remake it. Here is a story from Sicily, Mazzara del Vaio. A fisherman refused to sail until his children could read at dawn. He taught them by lantern light, defying the tide of illiteracy. He had no diploma, but he claimed freedom for his soul and theirs. The power to choose. Freedom is choice, and choice is power. You choose to speak up when your ideas fall silent. You choose to walk away when respect is withheld. You choose to cultivate joy as your rebellion. Modern neuroscience, Stanford HAI 2024, shows self-directed action rewires neural pathways, transforming learned helplessness into confident mastery. The only real prison is fear, and the only real freedom is freedom from fear. Aung San Suu Kyi. Know what you fear. Know how you detect fear when you are angry. Fear is disabling, it freezes your brain. The doorway within. You don't need to smash the door. You need to find the secret latch. That latch is your self-belief, forged in compassion and daring. It's the daily ritual of naming one win, no matter how small, and one truth you refuse to give up. Audre Lorde taught, revision is liberation. Reconstruct your narrative. Rewrite the story that says you belong. In the shadowed alleyways of Naples' Quartieri Spagnoli, Signora Carmela taught history in a crumbling schoolhouse until budget cuts turned its doors to dust. Refusing defeat, she unfolded her chalkboard under a lemon tree in the piazza, its blossoms scenting each afternoon lesson. Parents brought battered stools and broken toys. Children arrived in mismatched uniforms, their eyes alight with curiosity. By week's end, the makeshift classroom pulsed with life. Teens grappling with Dante's verses, toddlers counting pasta shells, and teenagers debating the ethics of the Camora's grip on local markets. Carmela taught more than dates and names. She taught dignity. When a jeering tourist mocked her open-air school, the students fell silent, then rose as one to recite Garibaldi's pledge to freedom. Word spread, a local olive oil cooperative donated benches, a coffee vendor supplied espresso, and a retired naval officer funded new textbooks. Within months, the piazza became a living university. History, poetry, math, and hope in every breath of Mediterranean breeze. No child asked for permission to learn. Carmela had reminded them that knowledge and freedom are rights, not privileges. The price of freedom. Freedom walks a razor's edge, a blazing forge and a hungry flame. To stand unshackled, a free spirit must shed her safest skins, forsake the harbour of approval, and sail into the storm of possibility. Consider Voltaire, whose words cracked the walls of tyranny at the expense of exile and chains. His laughter rang louder than jailers' keys. Think of Mercury, born Farrokh Bulsara, who traded anonymity for anthems, bearing the burden of tabloid gazes to gift us liberation in melody. Today's wanderers, digital nomads, AI ethicists, abandon corporate moorings for the buoyancy of ambiguity. They trade paychecks for passion, routines for restless pursuit. Their sacrifice, the comfort of predictability, the applause of complacency. Yet in this crucible, authenticity is forged. Psychology tells us purpose gained through sacrifice elevates our well-being, each forsaken security a rung on the ladder to self-mastery. So ask yourself, what comforts will you relinquish? Which silent prisons will you breach? Freedom is never free. It demands courage, loss, and the willingness to become the storm. But on the other side, you find the clarity of sunrise, the cadence of your own voice, the unbroken pulse of your truth. Break the algorithm, reclaim your life. But beyond that, cultivate true freedom with these actionable steps. Daily digital sunrise. Each morning, open one tab of new possibility, an unfamiliar website, a non-mainstream news source, or a community forum. Let curiosity, not confirmation bias, set your agenda. Question the rivers. Before sharing or clicking, pause. Whose voice am I amplifying? And whom am I silencing? This simple interrogative widens your information rivers to include marginalized streams. Ritualize reflection. At sunset, journal one moment when you felt truly autonomous. No algorithm sniffed that choice. Note why it mattered. Over time, you'll map your personal freedom coordinates. Create your freedom map. Sketch or digitally plot the spaces, real or virtual, where you feel most alive. Use it to guide your week. Schedule one free zone visit, whether a park bench or a quiet Slack channel. Forge honor circles. Build a small group of trusted allies. Commit to weekly check-ins where you challenge each other's assumptions, celebrate uncensored ideas, and share outlier perspectives. Subscribe for more power matrix strategies. Dive deeper with my Vanguard books to master EEQ, AIQ, and SSQ, link below. And click Descript to amplify your own narrative.